Well, good evening, everyone. Nice to meet you. Today, we are going to discuss about an interesting issue. Before we begin our discussion, let me tell you the rule of our discussion. Okay. So first, you are asked to mute your microphone while listening to another person. Okay, while there is a speaker, for example, explaining their ideas, or other participants, you need to mute your microphone. Okay. And secondly, you are not able to give your statement if the moderator doesn't allow you to speak up. So please respect our moderator tonight, who is Miss Wirda. So if you want to talk or convey your idea, you need to ask permission to our moderator first. And subsequently, you need to focus on the topic of discussion. Since today we are going to talk about study, so you need to focus on this topic. And furthermore, the hosts are capable of cutting your statement if the moderator thinks that that's enough. Okay, so please, the moderator has an authority to whether allow you or not. Then please encourage to be active in this discussion, since in OTA discussion, we don't have any speaker like other webinars, for example. Here we are on the same boat. We are studying together here. So yes, you need to be active here, either to express your ideas or simply to study English, right? Especially speaking. And the last is you need to raise your hand on the notification of participants. Well, guys, I want to ask you to use the tools from this Zoom. You need to raise your hand. First, you need to click on the participant box below, and there are several options there called raise hand. So everyone, I ask you to raise your hand over there, because it is very important. If you want to speak up, you need to click on this um, box first. Okay, Mr. Sunshine, Mr. Hassan, Miss Wirda, Miss Restika, come on, everyone. I'm waiting for you, since it's important if you want to speak later. Okay, Miss Afifah, Mr. Arfi, Mr. Miss Esti, Mr. Febrian, Miss Grace, Mr. Nikki, please raise your hand. Miss Restika, Mr. Sony, Mr. Rido. Okay, please try to raise your hand there. Okay, okay, just do that if you want to speak up later. Okay, then the moderator will see whether you want to speak or not. Okay, now guys, please lower your hand again, because we are about to start our discussion. Well, without further ado, I will give this chance to our moderator tonight, Miss Wirda. Time is yours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Angga. This is going to be my first time actively participate in this kind of discussion and become a moderator. Thank you for the opportunity. Do you guys could listen my voice clearly?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. So Mr. Angga will share the screen that I have.
You can actually share your own screen, Miss.
I'm afraid if something happens to my connection. So yeah.
Okay, let me prepare it also.
What kind of original soundtrack?
There is like Islamic tunes or Islam.
It's a routine activity in my mosque, in my place, right? So yeah, uh, I'm sorry if someone disturbed, but okay, it's something good for us to make noises. No, I don't think it's good. So Mr. Angga will share the screen, right? Do you have any troubles or something? Can I help you? Or let me just share first, then I will. Yeah, you can just later on share if something happened to me, to my screen. Right.
Okay, Miss.
Okay. All right. Okay, so as everyone could see from the post that we're going to talk about this studying abroad. Is it a must? So I'm sure that everyone here has an intention to study abroad. Not 100%, but some of you, right? And I see that one of the participants is studying abroad. So I guess that it would be a good discussion for us to acknowledge us more about this topic. In this kind of discussion, I have prepared several points, but of course, you may add your own points. The first point is we're going to talk about the goal. So, what is behind of struggling to study abroad? What is behind of struggling to study abroad? So, is there any reason, like definite reason for people to like stick on their plane studying abroad? So give me reasons why. And the second point, we're going to talk about the cost, since we know that studying abroad is not cheap. You have to be from a rich family, or you need to find scholarship to make your dream come true. And the last point is the impact. So of course, something that we do would have pros and cons. And also studying abroad, even though that it becomes familiar, there should be a dark side from studying abroad and challenges that you need to face. So we need to know about this before someone uh, define themselves to go abroad. So let's start. Or before I'm going to move to the next slide, anyone could add more points besides this? No one raised hand? So, okay. Okay, so then I will go to the next slide then. All right, so okay, so the next slide would be the goals. Like I said before, that I heard something like Wait a minute. Is this, you guys could listen clear my voice, right?
Yes, yes.
I'm just afraid sometimes. Okay, all right. Yes, the goal. Wait a minute. All right. Like my voice becomes you. Okay, forget it. Perhaps later on I will find. So the goal is going to be the career prospect. So people would try to find their dreams to go abroad to get more opportunities for their career. So I guess this is one of the reasons for them to plan their study overseas. And the second one is international travel. International travel, like going from like out from their comfort zone, would be a good challenge, like would be a good experience for people to start their experience abroad. They could find the best memories that they have done in their life. So when you become old, you're going to be asked what is your best memory when you were young, and they would say that studying abroad is one of the best memory that I have experienced, because there are many things that I have done over there. And the next one is becoming independent. So of course you are far away from your family, from your close friends, and you find the new environments and cultures, and of course you do things by your own self, so it will grow yourself to become independent person. And the last one in my slides, the university in the home country could be possibly not that good for them to study. So they choose to another country where there are many, good, good universities that they could get the best experience of study from the lectures and the modules and also the facilities in campus. So that's why four of these four reasons become uh, goals of people studying abroad. What do you guys think? Okay, Mr. Nicky. Mr.
Hello.
Nicky, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the time. I just want to add one important point, which is the networking. Like when you study abroad, you have so many friends from other part of the world. Like me, I have so many
Mm-hmm.
friends from Africa, from South America, or anywhere from the world. It will broaden your network. That's another important point, and you will also have the opportunity, like to if you start a business, for example, you will get an opportunity to have a partnership with other company in Europe, for example. Yeah, that's another important point that I want to add. Yeah, just that. Thank you.
Okay, so different nationalities of friends. So it would be another point that becomes people want to study abroad from Mr. Nicky. And what about Mr. Sunshine? You raise your hand, please.
Okay, thank you so much for the time given, Miss Gerda.
Yeah,
Seems like
you're
my
welcome.
voice is like lagging. Is my voice audible or clear enough? Okay, that's good. Okay, I'd like to add up several points, several merits that we can actually take by studying abroad. It's actually like the further aftermaths of having networks, because as far as I'm concerned, when we study abroad, it means we unlock the possibilities to learn varieties of foreign languages. For example, when it comes to Europe, we can possibly learn Dutch or Deutsch, or probably French, or probably some Cyprus, and any other languages. And I believe that this is so important because so far, when we study in Indonesia, we have less naturality of speaking like native, and we can expect to have that when we study abroad. And uh, what's more, I believe that the international exposure, the demands to practice willy-nilly the language in which in the language of the country in which we study in, it's going to be a necessary elements for us to improve our foreign language mastery. In addition to that, I believe that traveling should be one of the goals that need to be written right here, because traveling, we need to fully realize that uh, we are this small. If we actually measure our place when we stand up, or for example, like when we sit down like this, it's only less than 1 meter. And this word is just like thousand meters of ourselves. It means like there are so many spaces that we need to travel to, that there are so many breathtaking scenes and spectacular phenomena that we actually need to visit and to recognize, and finally can bring some beautiful memories with those kind of things, because I believe that memorable moments started from the memorable journeys, and we can actually expect that by having our study abroad. I think that's from me for a while. Thank you.
Okay, from Mr. Sunshine, that languages would be another point for studying abroad, and also the need to travel around the world, because time is quite short. Then we need to use our time better. All right. Next, there are two persons here, but I cannot see the name from the one who raised hand. But I see Mr. Indra Wanov. Mr. Indra.
Yeah,
Hello,
well,
Mr.
thank
Indra.
you for the questions. It's really interesting question,
Mr.
exactly.
Kibu.
So, uh, did you hear my voice, right? Is it my voice is
Yes.
audible? Okay, cool. So, the purpose to go to other countries, based on my assumption, is how to know about the metrics between our countries and also another countries, till where your countries has been developed. For example, if you see right now in Norwegia, you see kind of the things that in technologies is extremely different with Indonesia in the transportation, in their way in commerce, in their way in education and others. So we can look, yeah, we can look and we can take that um, as our ways also. Is it possible or not if it tried to implement it in Indonesia, for example? If you go to USA, for example, you see the drones that is really rarely it's implemented in several sectors in Indonesia. So is it valid or not if they'll be implemented in Indonesia? So this is the way that we can look when we are in other countries, especially technical college there. We can see the metrics, yeah, the metrics that kind of the things that different with our countries. Is it in their technologies? Is it in their education? Is it in their politics and others? So it's related with your major, exactly. So it's kind of the things that make get a school or take a college in other countries. It will give the big beneficial for us. Or for example, you can compare also. Last time I talked in the big scale, yeah, in technology or the several sites of that countries. So we can take in the small scale, for example, in your college, for example, kind of the thing that I see that is extremely different between Indonesia and also in other countries. For instance, in Australia, yeah, I hear there is the writing centers that trying to assist many students in their journal, how to make a journal and also how to write properly. But Indonesia, especially for writing centers, I suppose that is so rarely, and I don't know if there are the several universities in Indonesia facilitate their student with the writing centers. So it's kind of the thing that we can take what they have, yeah. We're trying to validate is it possible or not in Indonesia, and we know about the metrics, and I suppose that we can give the good impact, especially for our countries when we know about the metric itself. So this is my statement. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so that's from Mr. Kibo about finding metrics, yeah, finding metrics from the country that we visit. So, is it good for our country to implement? That would be the question from the students. And yeah, one person again, but I didn't see the name. F, initial F. So please, time is yours. Sorry, I cannot find your name on the screen.
Fabrian. His name is
Oh,
Fabrian.
okay, Mr. Fabrian. Okay, please, Mr. Fabrian.
Okay, thank you for the opportunities, Mr.
Oh
Miss
yeah, I see
Wirda.
from the chat for me. I could see from the chat. Thank you.
Sorry if my voice not clearly because near me is there is some very noise.
Very noisy over there. It's okay, but we can listen. No.
Okay. Uh, well, in my opinion, if we studied abroad, I think we can get learn about culture when about culture that that we visit. Uh, in simple, for example, how can we implement stand in the line when we must wait something, or if we wait the bus, we must stand in the line. Yeah, we know about Indonesian culture. We cannot be patient person if we wait something. And then I think same like Mr. Sani said, we can learn about the language, and we can get the free traveling if we study abroad. Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Fabrian Jampi said that, yeah, of course, we could learn new cultures from the country, and also the languages that Mr. Fabian have said before. So, any other person want to add more points towards the goals of people want to study abroad? Anyone else? Is that Mr. Kibo want to add more? Come on,
Oh,
please.
yeah, wait. I'm just curious about Nikki's statement regarding how to
Okay.
build a business, yeah, especially when you got the opportunity to get a college abroad. Maybe you can explain broadly about that, please.
Okay, can I speak? Okay, I really want to explain. Okay, thanks, Mr. Kibo. So, what I mean is like we have an internship opportunities. Like me, I have 2 months internship opportunities in the middle of my study, so I can go to the company and then know more about that company, and then how the opportunities will like how the partnership opportunities will occur that I can bring to them. For example, I have something in Indonesia. You have this kind of technology. Can I do it in my country? And we have a partnership? We can ask about that to them because the technology advancement is very great, especially in Europe and of course in the UK. For example, IoT. They have their own platform for their own community to enhance the IoT development in the UK. So I can participate that, and we can exchange ideas with the community. And how about if I bring this to my country, and then can we get a partnership? Yeah, that's what I mean. Because my lecture was said because I have entrepreneurship lecture. My lecture was said you can get a partnership here in your university, or you can get a partnership with other company to give you to lend you to invest to your company. He said like that because now I currently start the educational technology startup, and he really support my startup to be implemented. And yeah, that's what I mean, Mr. Kibo. Maybe you can have some comment.
Okay. Mr. Kibo would like to add more points.
Yeah, well, it's good ideas also. So this is the reason also I'm trying to apply in one of universities that provide or facilitate the incubators, especially for a kind of startup that want to accelerate, especially in the several countries. But the point that I will see there, we can take a knowledge, yeah, we can take their ways, but we cannot take their market. Because kind of the thing that we have to start first, we have to know about where is our niche, yeah, our specific market at the first. Because when we try to open it globally directly, I suppose that it's not impossible, but it's rather difficult because we haven't known our market yet. Is for example, it's coming from the questions when Jack Ma trying to open their business, yeah, when eBay, as one of the biggest startup in e-commerce back then, has taken over that business. The simple question that Jack Ma said is, I will be the sorry. Jack Ma said, eBay as the shark in the oceans, but we are Alibaba as the crocodile in the river. So it's kind of the thing that we have to find, especially for our niche market. And also kind of the point that is little cliche. I got the point from Mr. Danu. Yeah, is one of our day of AAS. When we want to get a research in Australia, when you are as the AAS awardee, AAS will not allow you to do that because they give that scholarship is because of how to develop your countries as the developing countries. So yeah, so it's kind of the thing that sometimes yeah, I don't know why. What is the biggest reason behind that? That make the several people, especially in as they cause the opportunity to get the research, especially in that home country, in their own sorry, in Australia. Is that
Okay.
it's really interesting to talk about this.
Okay. So yeah, it's more about how we gain more about business, yeah, business that Mr. Nicky and Mr. Kibo interest in business. All right. So anyone add more comments or anything before I move to another points, to the second point?
Miss Grace.
Okay, sorry, Miss Grace. Okay, Miss Grace. Please, Miss
Okay,
Grace.
thank you. Can you hear me? Can you hear my voice?
Yes, we can listen your voice.
Okay, thank you. Actually, I just wanna add the what is behind of struggling to study abroad. Based on my personal thinking, I think some people going abroad because they want to prove themselves to anyone that look at down at them. Somehow they also want to explore themselves, like how far can I go to do that, and how can I perceive the study abroad, so they can they like wanna improve, they want to prove themselves to anyone, and they want to explore more than they do. It's just that. Thank you, Miss.
Okay, Miss Grace said the reason, yeah, one of the reason is to prove to someone else. Perhaps in the previous time, they had something like underestimate you, and then you want to prove to yourself that now I could be more than you. Now I could, reach my biggest dream, studying abroad. All right, so that's from Miss Grace. Anyone else? Mr. Sunshine, you raise your hand again, and you want to
Yeah,
speak
yeah,
something?
yeah, yeah.
Or Mr.
Oh
Shani?
yeah.
Mr. Sony. Oh, after Mr. Sony first, yeah. After Mr. Sony.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry then.
Hello,
Mr. Sony, please.
hello, hello. Check, check.
Yeah, hello. Your voice.
Okay, my sound is clearly right.
Hmm.
Um, okay, in my opinion, why we have to study abroad because um, we're supposed to change our mind. Uh, we know about man is very important for us to make the ways something like as business or change our some specific in our life and others. So yes, I think why we have to go abroad for change our minds. I think it's that. Thank you, Miss Firdato.
You're welcome.
Uh,
Miss Sony,
not Miss, I think Miss.
gimana?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Miss Sony,
So sorry.
yeah,
Your voice is not clearly here in my laptop.
my
I
voice?
think. I don't know. Yes, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay.
Hello.
So what about others? Yeah.
Okay.
Could you listen my? Anyone could listen my?
Yes, it is audible, but patah-patah gitu.
Hello? My voice
How
could
to
be
say this
Yeah,
listened
it's
kata-kata
clearly.
in English?
Yeah, it's
Tough,
audible, but
maybe.
it's lagging. Yeah, it's lagging.
Yeah, sounds like me. How to say
Okay,
kata-kata?
it's breaking. Hello, Miss Verde. Can I speak? Can I start speaking? Hello?
I think Miss Wirda has a connectivity issue. Mr. Sani, I think you can
Yes, yes.
speak.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. While waiting for her, I'd like to throw out my ideas. Um, After listening to several opinions given, I'd like to say that this is probably the most selfish reason why we have to study abroad. Simply, we need to study abroad so that why we can work abroad. Okay. I believe that some of you ever heard the term brain drain. It's actually like some scientific, some like notable or remarkable scientists of Indonesians that is actually rejected by their own country. They have no place there. They are not given opportunity, and they also being secluded because their existence can endanger, can disturb the position of their seniors in Indonesia. So essentially, by getting scholarship, for example, like in Sweden, it means you broaden your possibility to study there and to work there, to bring your family there, to enrich yourself there. So I guess that by studying abroad, it will make your working there much more significantly different rather than you just go abroad for working purposes. So studying abroad can actually amplify the salaries that you can get by working there, because you work there by your science, by the insights that you actually obtain by after finishing your study there. Because some scholarship, I believe they do not impose you, or it is not mandatory for you to come back to your own country and rebuild your country there. But instead, it is total freedom for you to decide whether or not you will go after finishing the study, or remain working, or continue your study in the country that you get scholarship from. I think that's for me. I think. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Sunshine, you just said that you could just do part-time job to support your study, because it is time for you to get a lot of money from the country that have a high salary, right? Higher salary than your own country. And you could remain there just to get more better job. But for certain, especially LPDP, I think it's not possible for LPDP worthy to get or to remain in the country that they study, because they need to return just right after they finish their study. Okay. So anyone would add more feedback or something? No. Mr. Nicky, you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
After this, Mr.
That's good if we are studying about and thinking about career prospect, working here, the salary is high, because even it will be above 1,000 euro, of course. 1,000 euro is around 16 million rupiahs. If you are thinking about salary. But for me, in my opinion, life is not about money. We should contribute more. Even I'm not from LPDP. I get a scholarship from Europe. I got a scholarship from Europe, and they don't want me to return back. There is no contract that I must return back, but the most important thing that we must contribute a little thing to our beloved country. That's the main thing. So because of that, I just think that, okay, I might work 1 year or maybe 2 years here to get some money, and then give something to my country. That's what I'm thinking about here. Because life is not all about money for me, but I don't know for other people. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Because nationalism is the most important thing.
Okay.
Indonesia.
I think when you're living abroad, your nationalism increases, right? Like Mr. Nicky now. So
Yeah, you are true.
You perhaps you miss your country already. So yes, life is not all about money, but you need money, right, to live. But then I just realized that it's not only LPDP that ask you to come back, but also other scholarship like Erasmus that Mr. Nicky achieved, right? So Mr. Hassan, I guess that you raised your hand previously. Mr. Hassan.
Okay.
In my opinion, I'm agree with Mr. Nicky. It's not about the money, but the reason why work in the work abroad, just what how to feel survive in another country and different language and different culture. And like Mr. Miss I forget the name. She say to prove the someone. Maybe you can prove to your neighbor and say, "Here I am. I'm in the another country right now." Maybe it's all for me.
Okay. So yeah, it is time for you to tell your neighbor that yeah, I could go abroad. So make your neighbor proud of your achievement. I think that could, you know, something that hidden impact, because from that point they will ask their daughters, their sons to study hard to be this, to be that person. They can go abroad because they are diligent, perhaps. Yeah. Okay, next to Mr. Ahmad Fathullah, please.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity for speaking in this discussion. For me, experience is more than money, maybe, because by experience, we can tell the story to the people and our children for the following generation. And by the well experience, I need more than just only in Indonesia, even though I haven't or gone to another place, another island, seems like Papua or maybe Maluku, but study abroad or live in the other country will give the other experience, and maybe there are many things about the tastes about live in the other country, about the courage um, to get the well IELTS score, maybe, or how to manage uh, the visa application or the others, or probably we can find the true love in the other country, uh, even though they are the same Indonesia, but probably we can find the other island people of Indonesia in other country and create the family in other country. Maybe that will be one of my reason why I want to go to study abroad.
To make new family. Okay. All right. So yes. Okay. One more. What's the name? Let me check
Can I?
the. Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
I,
C. Starting from C.
Mr. Cikoneng?
The Cikoneng. Okay. Cikoneng, please.
Can you first, Mr. Ranga, if you will be the first?
Yeah, you can go on, Mr. Cikoneng. I'll go.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, for my point of view, perhaps several reasons that have been mentioned by the previous speaker, but I would like to emphasize, I think study abroad is the one what is that kind that we can improve or make sure we are capable in the certain thing in the job world. Because do you know the term that the university define yourself, and especially when we study about, so we will get a pressure and also environment that will trigger us to be better than the national university. And the other hand, the international partnership is the one of the value that all of people will be maintain it, like the international corporation, international collaboration. So it will be useful as the college student to improve their abilities. Because when we talk about Indonesia, I don't know exactly the job field or job vacancy is a right or a competition. but I always find the job vacancy is the competition with among the societies, especially among the fresh graduates. So we should compete not only with our friends, but also from the expert or the professional. Although in the opening of our bills or UDE 1945 said the prosperity for all Indonesia, but I think the job vacancy still be a competition among the society. So to improve our ability and also to acknowledge or admire we are capable and that function so it will be useful. But in the other hand, when we talk about the political major, so it will be and politic and region politic and region major, it will be quite tough because uh, I don't know, Indonesia still be in the conservative. If we talk about the technology, so we can create something new. But when we talk about the region, especially for like Vicky, also Tafsir, we always come back to the previous cleric or the previous scholars like Shafi'i, Hanafi, and Hanbali and others. But we don't find the new Shafi'i in the modern era, perhaps, and also the new Ibn Rushd and the other. So it will be difficult to region, and we all always back to the other scholar for that. And for the political major, it's quite tough because, as you know, the university in Indonesia, especially in the high rank, is the state university. So and the lecture will be the civil servant. So the civil servant has a limitation to state everything that they will state it, especially when they oppose the statement from the government. So and based on the Mr. Shan saying before, yeah, I read the article for Jakarta Post. It seems like all of our scholars, especially who have been studying abroad, they will bring or dedicate themselves to their country, but they don't have a chance or a place to improve their ability. It seems like you bring diamond, but you don't find the market when where you will sell it. So it is the reason for perhaps in my point of view. Thank you.
Mbak Wirda, we cannot hear you. Please unmute yourself first, Mbak Wirda.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry. Okay, I'll mute myself. Okay. Sorry. So, okay, so we're going to move to this point. Yeah, of course, we know that it's not a small number for us to start our journey in abroad. So we need, like 100 million rupiah to just pay for one semester, and then we need to pay for the accommodation and our daily basis, and also the other expenses like ticket, visa, and other things. So then you need to find the money either from your family or for your own money, and also for the scholarship that you try to apply. So is it worth the cost from the money or the efforts that you've been taking, like years? Is it worth the cost to study abroad with that huge, like high money to pay for them to spend by yourself? So I let people to answer. Mr. Ahmad, please.
Thank you for this occasion. For me, if so far, if I don't get any debt to go abroad for study, I will take it because experience is more precious when I live in this world. Because you only live once, right? And this occasion cannot grab to you and cannot get to you every time in the whole of your life. So I will take it. Why not? If as long as I don't get any debt. If it will impact me to get a huge debt, I think, I will think it again. Thank you.
Okay. So of course, yeah, with those high amount of money, uh, yeah, it worth the cost from Mr. Ahmad, that the experience compensate the money, the efforts that you've done. So what about others?
Can I?
Yes, Mr. Angga.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I cannot raise my hand since I am the host. So yeah, I'm sorry for that. Okay, I just want to comment the previous slides first, because I I didn't speak or I didn't say my opinion about the previous slides. Of course, I do agree with opinions from previous speakers previously, but I just want to emphasize something that not everything from abroad is good, I think, because it makes us show our in the mentality of inlander, in my viewpoint, because people too much exaggerate everything from abroad is good, because in fact there are several drawbacks also of studying abroad, right? Like for example, right now, like what's happening right now in Australia, they they ignore the international students studying there due to this pandemic. It's been a global issue, I think, for a country which is developed well, but there is also some poverties, of course, like after this pandemic, several developed countries just um, lay off their workers, their citizens. So I think it's not that good, right, as developed countries. Why this happens, I think, from people from for people from Indonesia, because we were colonized by developed countries, right? That's why some people possess this knowledge that everything from abroad is good. Yeah, I think we cannot blame them because it is due to this situation. But when we are aware of the situation, of course, we will be able to be prepared, right, before studying there, not only mentally, physically, but also your knowledge and your insights are good enough before studying there. So we don't need to, exaggerate everything from abroad is good. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So that's from Mr. Angga, who have applied for Australian University, but then I need to differ because of the situation right now. Australia still restricted international students to come to their country. So yes, one of the decision
Um, Hi, Miss Wirda. Okay, probably she has a connectivity issue. So let me, the host here, give the audience here who is going to speak up. Okay, I would like to choose Mr. Sunshine. Mr. Sunshine.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Angga. Okay, so will it be worth paying with the things that we actually can obtain after being awarded by the scholarships or by granted scholarship? I believe that sometimes it seems it doesn't worth it because for some people they have long journeys to get scholarship. Okay, for some people as well, they tried once and just directly became the awardee. And that's why when you actually pay more, you have been paying so much money, huge sum of money, but you didn't come, you didn't become the awardee. It seems like it is not worth to study abroad. And even for some scholarships, they didn't cover your whole funds, your whole expenses. Some of them only provide some tuition free or stipends on your round trips, or some of them even uh, didn't give you any travel accommodation or even monthly allowance. So yeah, I believe that to study abroad means you need to actually have like savings that you can rely on to prepare everything, even preparing documents, translating it into some sworn translators from medical checkups for PCR and swab tests, for bring up something, your documents, legalize it into some ambassadors in Jakarta, for example, doing some businesses with your lecturers, with your supervisors for your thesis. It all costs you a huge sum of money. And it does not necessarily means that what we are going to get by having scholarship will actually equal with that. But there will be like probably in terms of financial, we actually suffer a lot. But in terms of perks or emotional side or feelings, we can expect to gain more from that. That makes it seems worth it for a while. I think that's my comment. Thank you.
Thank, thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Sunshine. Yeah, Miss Wirda.
I
Please.
joined from the different device. Mm-hmm. All right. So that's from Mr. Sunshine. I guess yes, you said that you agree with the statement. It's worth the cost, even though it's several aspects, different aspects of the not necessarily the money, right? Yes, of course, the scholarship could be the partial or the fully funding. Yeah. Well, thank you. It's clear. So next, I see Mr. Kibo raising hand, please.
No, last time I just
No.
wanted to know the questions because you are out from the discussion back then.
Okay.
Yeah, just continue.
Okay. So, anyone else? To add more opinions that, yeah, let's talk about like our country, the taxes that they have, they have saved for the Indonesian students to send them abroad to take their masters in doctoral programs, and they have their eternal funding like Dana Abadi for about like billions, so that do you think that you pay for the taxes and then used for students to study abroad, is it will paid off for our country especially? Okay, so I will try to find someone. I choose, yeah, someone. Mr. Rido, do you have any ideas? Mr. Rido, are you there? Okay, you seem not there. So, Miss Marves Reni, Miss Marves Reni, do you think that all the money from Indonesian government is worth the cost for the students studying abroad?
Actually, I don't know about the advantage of continuing to study abroad. That's why I joined this
Okay.
discussion. So I know
Uh-huh.
about the importance of to continue study in
Uh-huh.
abroad. But
Mm-hmm.
that I know is if it's will be expensive because
Mm-hmm.
we will continue our study at abroad. So I choose a scholarship if I can. Maybe that's all. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. So yes, Mr. Reni would better choose a scholarship, of course, like most of us too, to choose a scholarship rather than spending our own money to study abroad, even though it quite experience would answer, but then if you can get the scholarship, why not? Yeah. So back then, does anyone want to add more feedback or comments? Mr. Kipo? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If we talk about assumptions, to go
Mm-hmm.
abroad, and to go Europe, for instance, we need the scholarships. But I suppose that is not all the countries are rather difficult to cover up all of the cost there. I just get many stories, but one of the inspiring stories from my friends Hari, he become the leader of PPI France up to now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe Anga knows him. He went abroad is not because of scholarship, and also he is not from the rich families
Mm-hmm.
that have a lot of money
Mm-hmm.
and many things to cover him to go abroad. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What, for instance, in French, the cost to join with the universities, Lumiere universities, is cheaper than most of universities in Jakarta. But for the living cost, yeah, is rather expensive. But he can covers all those things to get the part-time jobs at there. So this is the reasons that if you have a big attention, if you have a big dreams to go abroad, when you're trying to execute it and seriously to execute it, I suppose that it'll um, it'll make all your dream realize. So this is the reasons that it's not all of the countries are expensive that make us have to get a scholarship, but sometimes we can take only with our IMF money. Yeah, IMF money is not International Monetary Fund, but Yuran Mother Father. We can take it to cover up our education in abroad. So I suppose that is so many ways to go abroad, but the point is, how do you want to be seriously to get that chance? Because what Mr. Suni last time said, we have to take care of the several requirement. We have to go to our lecturer. We have to go to our rector. We have to ask the recommendation letter. We have to ask the medical certificate. We have to ask a kind of the things that related with the requirement exactly. So this is the point. It's not all of them should take a scholarship. Need your brave. Where's Miss Virda? Yeah. Also, I want to give a questions. Which one do you prefer, guys? Between we have to take study abroad in the bachelor firstly, or we take in master, or we can take both of them? Because I saw two different perspective of the way of thinking between people study abroad and people in study in Indonesia. It's not all people in study abroad, they are more clever than the people study in Indonesia. One of them, their organizational experiences. I suppose that many people that get college in Indonesia, they more get a big connection in Indonesia, and they have a good organizational experience than the people, several people that get to study abroad. So which one do you prefer if you got the opportunity between in the bachelor you take abroad, or on the master degree, or uh, in the bachelor and also a master you take abroad directly? While waiting for Mr. Virda.
Okay. I see Mr. Nicky raising his hand. Mr. Nicky, time is
Yeah.
yours.
Thank you, Mr. Angga. So I totally agreed with Mr. Indra, yeah, with Bang Kibo, because it's not all about scholarship, guys. So even in Norwegia here, they stated that the public universities in Norway do not charge tuition fees even for international students. So it is free for the tuition fee. But you must think about living cost. But here, if you got the residence permit, if you are studying in Norway, they will allow you to work 20 hours per week. So, and the salary in Norway, it's very high because it's in Norwegian krona, and it's very high because the standard of living is high. So I think you can live with that, and it's about your persistence if you want to get a scholarship. But yeah, if not, you can rent from your father and mother, because even like in France, uh, yeah, hello, Miss Virda.
Yeah, I
Okay,
know. Like, continue, keep up.
okay. Okay, like in France, like what Mr. Indrewanov told us, the tuition fee
Mm-hmm.
is not that much expensive, and also the
Mm-hmm.
government also give us like the accommodation discount through CAF. There is a program, and also they support the student. They also give €1 meals by now because of the pandemic. Yeah, that's it. And according for the taking bachelor first, uh, in Indonesia or in abroad, in my opinion, the scholarship opportunities to go for bachelor just not as much as continue master abroad. Because of that, in my opinion, uh, because I'm trying to have the scholarship in the past, there are so many scholarship. Like by now, French government give scholarship for diploma, for diploma 3, and then also for bachelor, but they don't cover some expenses. It will be better if we stay in Indonesia first, take the bachelor here. We rent first from our family, and then we continue with master's scholarship in abroad. Because the master scholarship is so many from many other countries, many continents. They have so many scholarship in master's degree. Yeah, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Nikki. Previously, I was here, but then I unmute myself. Sorry. So, I agree with Mr. Nikki and Mr. Kibo about the intention. If you have a really good intention, you can just work part-time. But of course, you need to prepare yourself as good as possible, and finding the university that quite affordable. Like Mr. Nikki said that French is around 2 million 2 million for bachelor degree per year. $200 until 3,000. So it's the minimum. $200 until $3,000. So yes, you can if you have a strong will. And then the question whether you need to choose bachelor or master degree, I guess that in my own opinion, a master degree is a quite, a good, shape, like a good, I could just find people, find the good motivation and find the network to brought me to find scholarship through master degree. But in bachelor, for some people or for me, it's quite too early. But for some people, of course, if they have strong intention in high school, of course they could just do it by finding scholarship or by IMF. Okay, I would like to open other opinions from participants. Could you raise your hand to add more? If not, then it's time for us to move to another point. Okay, this is from Mr. Angga through the chat. Mr. Nicky, could you elaborate more about Norway education regarding the free tuition, Mr. Nicky?
Yes, Mr. Nicky, you can probably explain about that. So that probably Indonesia, we can strongly suggest our Indonesian government to make our education free.
Yeah, we will strongly suggest about that. We will fight for that. Okay. I don't know the reasons, but we all know that Norway is the most happiest country. I think so. And even I want to rent a ski here, ski and ice skates, shoes. It is free. There is no charge. But I don't know why the government of Norwegian give this opportunity that the tuition fee is free. But yeah, I cannot explain. I don't have any. I just get a statement by some university, like my university, that tuition is free, but the living cost is so expensive here. Yeah, the living cost is so expensive. So rather, if you work part time, you will you will have a good money for that, but even you can survive or not. But I don't know why. I don't know why. Yeah, but it's free. Believe me.
Okay.
That's great.
So yeah, it's free and the quality would would be different than you study in Indonesia. But yeah, I don't know about the certain qualities that could be mentioned here.
Can I
So,
respond that?
Mr. Angga, please.
Yeah. Regarding this question, I think I strongly suggest you guys to look for scholarships. For why I say this, because in my viewpoint, scholarship is our right. We have paid a lot of taxes to our country, right? So yes, for this reason alone, we need to be able to take this scholarship in order to pursue our education. In terms of the requirements, of course, we need to chase the scholarships or the requirements given by the providers of the scholarship, right? Because when, in my viewpoint, when we look for the scholarship, of course, automatically we will enhance our capacity, right? Automatically, because most of scholarship will requires like English proficiency, your insights, your knowledge, and everything. So yes, in this question, I think I suggest everyone to take scholarships as their options to study abroad, because it is our right. In terms of free education in some countries abroad, like Norway, Chile, Cuba, as far as I'm concerned, they um, they decide the high number of national budgets to their educations. That's why they can make their educations free. It's different as far as I'm concerned in Indonesia. Our educational budget is not that high from other countries like Norway. For instance, our biggest national budget is given to infrastructures, military, and regions, sectors, and so on. In addition, our education sector is in the 6th or 7th position next to the health sector. That's why it's kind of hard, I think, to make our education free for all in Indonesia, different from other countries. But in regards to this, I think we can still suggest or demand our government to make our education free for all. At least they can expand the scholarships for us. Thank you, Ms. Birda. That's my opinion.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, about budgeting for the nation to make free of the school. So I would like to comment about the alternative way besides scholarship. I guess that there's one program. The name is UPAIR, AUPAIR, so that the program would let you to, doing stuff like in family, but then they also provide you to learn languages. It's available in Europe countries, I guess. So could if someone are interested in studying abroad, but like it's quite hard to find scholarship, or without a lack of IMF, so you could just find another alternative programs such as au pair. Okay, so anyone want to add more? So there's Mr. Rido, Mr. Sony, Mr. Hassan, Miss Grace, Mr. Febrian, Mr. Dionysius, Miss Reni, Mr. Chikoneng, Mr. Almer, anyone? All right. Okay, Mr. Febrian. Mr. Febrian, please.
Okay, thank you, Miss Wirda.
Yeah.
Well, in my perspective, study or knowledge is expensive, especially in abroad, because there are many experience we will get from we study in abroad, not only about knowledge from the major we took, but also how someone can survive in place with different culture and many more. So I believe cost for study abroad is expensive and worth someone effort, whichever they choose, from their family cost or from their scholarship. Yeah, that's all from me. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
So yeah, you are totally agree with this statement. Okay. I would like to encourage other participants with the last slide that Mr. Angga would do next. Mr. Angga, could you share screen?
Yes. Wait a minute, please.
Yep. Yeah, we're talking about the good things about studying abroad. We've been talking about that in the previous conversation discussion. But then the challenge that students might face is quite yeah terrible also, because they need to deal with homesickness and also mental illness. That is not it's not a small problems when you try to handle your stress due to the different academic demands or the different culture. You need to adjust yourself to acclimatize yourself to that new things. So what do you guys think about the drawbacks to studying abroad? Like what kind of things that you need to prepare and to do during your study? So if you guys are studying abroad, what kind of things you need to prepare to the challenges that you will face? Of course, we need to find a source of information about students who have been there before. So I will let someone to, yeah, Mr. Sunshine. Okay, please. Yeah, Mr. Sunshine, time is yours.
Yeah. Thank you. The time is mine now. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, so for me myself, I believe that learning martial arts to defend ourselves is going to be such a word investing skill that we need to comprehend before going abroad, because we don't know what's going to happen abroad if we do not equip ourselves with some profound basics of martial arts, because it's really important when we need to act ourselves or independently doing something like shopping or traveling alone. I believe that is going to be so much harmful, especially for girls. Okay, sometimes they couldn't find any companions or friends, males, reliable ones to accompany them going somewhere, and that's why I believe that even when we are being invited by some foreigners, the locals, we feel like, am I going to face any harms when I visit their homes, their dorms? That's kind of overthinking, negative thoughts is going to filling up our minds, and that's why having ourselves with something, some mechanical things that we can defend ourselves at any moment is going to be really valuable a supply to live by ourselves abroad. And we also need to be ready for those kinds of things like racial, uh, how to say, racist and discrimination, especially for Muslims, because having veil or wearing jilbab or hijab in some Europeans that still close-minded, they tend to treat some Asians, not only Muslim but also some Asians, people with lesser morals. They tend to, it's like looking down on discriminating us, because they believe that some Islamophobia still flourishing in the mindsets of some Europeans, even though some of them has been considering that the freedoms and the liberty of embracing religion is actually the total freedom of any human ever. And that's why to defend these kinds of discriminations, we need to have a strong heart, and we also need some tactical, how to say, narratives to attack verbally or to counter these kinds of arguments that might uh, go against us, that might go against us in the futures about the racist discriminations. We need to have a mental strength, and yeah, I think both things will be so necessary for us to have while we prepare ourselves in Indonesia. because when we soon study abroad, there will be less time for us to, to learn self-defense or to learn understanding more about discriminations or so far. I think that's one. Thank you.
Okay. So the racial issues and discrimination might happen to international students, right? Because of the difference and the yeah, it's just different, but they have other points of view towards race and like religions that could be exposed by the media, right?
Yep.
So
Second.
okay, anyone would add is Mr. Ahmad, please.
Yeah. Because today is the day of my practicing English, so maybe I'm not the well person to talk about the impact for study abroad. Because I never go to that such place, yeah. But in my opinion, besides we can create the new family and it will give a huge impact to our future by creating that family and having a well experience and stories and many dramas in the other country. And because of that consideration, maybe we can create a book of our life, so many people will read it and we can get the royalty from it. Maybe that is one of the impact, in my opinion, just in my opinion.
Okay. So for the individual impact, you could be a writer by
Yeah.
authoring a book to sell, like
Yeah.
inspiration story from
Maybe,
Leeds, Lala Leeds, something like that. Yeah, a lot of books coming from coming from international students that becomes a book like the bestseller. Yeah, that's the good yeah, the benefit, one of the benefits studying abroad. So I would like to encourage others participants to speak. Perhaps Mr. Miss Grace. Miss Grace.
Yes, Miss.
What do you think? Studying abroad has more advantage or drawbacks? What do you think?
I think it's more advantage because we can learn something new and it's really different. I mean, it's really different than we do before. Like when we are going abroad, we get a new experience. We do explore ourselves also. But yeah, of course, there's like culture shock, like Mr. Shanshan also told before, like racism or something like that. But so the first thing that we have to prepare before going abroad is we have to prepare our mental, because it's so important for us to always keep our mental, like we have to keep ourselves that we have to fight in a way that we have to receive. I think just that, Miss. Thank you.
Okay, so it's more the advantages is more significant, right, than the drawbacks or the challenges that students might experience. Okay, thank you, Miss Grace. And what about Mr. Hassan? Yeah, Mr. Hassan, right? Mr. Hassan, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Hassan, please.
So, on my opinion, studying abroad have many benefits. Like you have a new friend, and you know about the new culture, the another country, and you know how to survive in the another country. And homesickness is we all have we all get the homesickness. Like I'm from Sumatra now, and now I'm in Jakarta. Every day I feel homesick. Social network, yeah, you have a partner from the another country if you studying abroad.
Mhm.
I think is all. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, even homesickness, you're going to have the feeling of homesickness studying in your home country, not only in abroad. All right, so
And I
yeah, Mr. Chikoneng. Mr. Chikoneng raising hand.
okay.
Mr. Chikoneng, please.
Okay. Yeah, regarding to the challenges that we might face when we
Mhm.
study abroad, I think the first thing is shock culture, because it's really different when we talk about the culture, especially every single country. So the culture that will be the one focus that the Indonesian should face. For example, like in Indonesian, we have a culture like basa-basi or talkative. What in English basa-basi? Yeah, but perhaps in the other country we don't find it. And also in Indonesia have like gotong royong
Small.
that
Mhm.
like gotong royong when you had trouble or difficulties in your life, and your neighbor will help you. But I think in our city, especially for developed country, they tend to be selfish, so you should manage yourself to be the independently. On the other hand, we should focus in our academic, especially 2 years for the magister. It will be Mm, quite what's that?
Mhm.
I forgot. Yeah, it's quite little or sebentar. Oh yeah, what's little? Yeah, what's in English sebentar? It's quite sebentar. Yeah, so we should focus on that, because when we talk about, like the several speakers said before, it's really high cost, especially for living cost and our daily livelihood. So if we add it, or we should add our semester, so it will be diminish not only EMF, iuran mother father, but also diminish our mental to continue our study there. And the third, as same as Mr. Sani's statement, that Islamophobia when we talk about the Europe or in the America. So because as the Muslim, we have a culture to maintain our prayers, and it is 5 times in day. So we always practice it, especially when after the coronavirus is over. So perhaps we should pray in our class that don't have like musola or a masjid in Indonesia. Every single time we will find it, and also we don't listen the calling of prayer or ajan. So should be challenging for a Muslim when we decide to take the offices in the Europe or the America. So it is for me.
Mhm. Okay, thank you, Mr. Ahmad. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Chikoneng, right? Okay, so it might be a good opportunity for Mr. Nikki, because you raise your hand, responding the discrimination or racial issues that might happen to international students.
Okay, thank you for the time. According to the challenges that we will face when we study abroad, especially in Europe right now, I'm here. First of all, I'm experiencing like what Mr. Chikonen said, which is the cultural shock. That's the hardest thing that I faced, because I must change 3 times for the country. I'm not staying in one country, and then I must adapt it in UK. I must adapt it in Norway, and it's very hard for me. And in Hungary also. Uh, what to know is like we expect that UK people is warm like us. They will say hello and how are you, but it's not kind of stuff like that. They will just go straight and don't look at you, and yeah. So don't hope that they will hello to you and how are you. Yeah, it's not kind of our cultural tradition in Indonesia, which is basa-basi. Because of that, we must prepare and we must know something about the culture in the country where we will live in, and we must know something about it. Just little thing like how they behave in their social environment. Is it appropriate to go to our neighbor house, or they don't allow us to go there? Yeah. And the second challenges for me is homesickness. Of course, like someone say that you are in Jakarta and you are homesickness. Yeah, it's normal. All of us is normal for all of us. But in abroad, we have a family abroad. What I said is we have PP, the student Indonesian student community in some city and in some country, especially. That's our family. So we spend the time with them. It will cure our homesickness, of course. We can speak Indonesia, especially. I met one from Yogyakarta. I speak Japanese with him, and yeah, we are being good friends. So how to cure the homesickness? That's one. Uh, and according to the Muslims, I never seen about that in Norway, especially because there are so many Muslim here, and they wear hijab. They wear hijab. But in other countries, such as maybe France or another country, they might be racist. But according to that, we have the rights to wear hijab, and it will be another people will be supportive or support us. Of course, some people will be support us around us, like our friends. If we go with our friends, they will support us. They will like save us from harm people people that want to harm you. And according to prayer time, what I use is an application that will show us this is the duhur and this is asar. And even I cannot pray in the university when I have the class, but I usually jama, and then I do it twice, duhur and asar, because I'm in the university, but for maghrib and isha we can do it separately because it will be very useful to use the application. Yeah, for all of you if you were in Europe or in USA. Yeah, that's from
Okay.
me.
Mhm. So yeah, the technology provide you to make your life easier, being a Muslim in other countries, right?
Can I?
Okay. Mr. Angga?
Yeah, can I, Mbak Wirda?
Yes.
Because
Yes,
I said
please.
I can't raise my hand because I am the host.
Okay. Sure. Please.
Okay. All right. I just want to add something about the impacts, especially for those who are self-funded people studying abroad. Because when we study abroad, of course, we don't vote for the politicians there, right? I mean, we are foreign people over there. So that's why when there is a disaster like a pandemic or a havoc like this, we cannot get the social assistance from the governments over there mostly. That's why it is happening now in several countries like UK, Australia, in which international students get a lot of um, attitudes, behavior from the governments over there. That's why they're like a beggar who depend on the charity simply for having dinner, lunch, or breakfast. So it is really, really bad, especially for those students who are self-funded. I mean, you are not funded by the scholarships. It's kind of hard, I think, right now. Uh, that's why it is right now a hot potato, I think, becoming a hot issue in developed countries in Australia and UK. So yeah, let's just be prepared, guys, if there is disaster like this, if you are international students over there, you need to be prepared in order to tackle the situation. Thank you, Ms. Wirda.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Angga, for the last opinions that we have in our discussion. And yeah, it is nice to be participate in this kind of discussion. I'm Wirda as the moderator. Would like to, yeah. Should I give a conclusion, something like that, Mr. Angga?
Yes, if you want.
Okay. So yes, regarding the discussion tonight, we have several points that have been discussed towards the goals, cause, and impacts. And I guess that most of you agree with the statements that slides have present. And yeah, some elaboration, of course, have been added, such as the different cases in countries. And I guess that's all from me tonight. The time has been enough, so I will give to Mr. Angga then.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Wirda, for moderating us. Please give applause for her. Yeah. Well, before we end, as usual, we will give several new vocabularies from this discussion. They are probably not new for some of us, but I think we can still learn some new vocabularies or in terms of English skills. Okay, I will say it in bahasa Indonesia. Jadi saya sudah mencatat beberapa kosakata ya teman-teman. Mohon maaf kalau ini tidak baru bagi teman-teman karena saya tadi menikmati diskusinya jadi tidak banyak mencatat kosakata. Ini tradisi kita ya di OTA, kita selalu mencatat kosakata baru. Oke, pertama terkait dengan kosakata teman-teman, ada yang mengatakan their self, harusnya themselves ya. Karena their self kalau mau mengatakan mereka sendiri itu tidak ada. Jadi yang benar adalah themselves. Kemudian ada yang mengatakan tough tadi. Nah, ini juga spesifik ya kosakata yang sama maknanya dengan difficult. Ya, teman-teman bisa lihat di chat box. Kemudian ada yang mengatakan exaggerate, which means melebih-lebihkan. Kemudian expensive. Okay, a lot of people say expensive. In saying mahal, teman-teman bisa mengatakan pricey, ya sinonimnya ya. Biar lebih memvariasikan kosakatanya. Kemudian terkait tentang grammar, instead of saying for study abroad, you should say for studying abroad ya. Karena for dia harus ketemu verb ing. Grammar umumnya ya. Kemudian grievance ini sinonimnya complaint, keluhan maknanya ya. Kemudian basa-basi, tadi Mr. Sani menulis di atas ya, yang maknanya adalah dalam bahasa Inggris itu beat around the bush. Benar ya Mr. Sani? Beat around the bush. Artinya basa-basi atau bertele-tele. Kemudian bergotong royong. Sepengetahuan saya sih cooperate ya. Dalam bahasa Inggris cooperate ya, bekerja sama. Sinonim terdekatnya. Terakhir yaitu menyesuaikan diri, teman-teman bisa katakan adjust atau adapt ya, sinonimnya. Adapt itu adjust. Okay, I think that's all from me for today. I'm sorry if I have a lot of mistakes during this discussion. Thank you. Before we end, as usual, we will have a photo session. Yeah. Okay, please guys, show your most beautiful and handsome face to us. Oke, teman-teman silakan tunjukkan wajah tampan dan cantiknya ya. Mr. Mr. Hasan, thank you. Mr. Rido, Mr. Kudori. Teman-teman di sini ada yang pakai HP? Mr. Sani pakai HP? Mr. Kibo pakai HP? Mr. Kudori pakai HP ya? Are you using your phone? Would you mind taking us a picture? Because I'm using my laptop. Miss Wirda.
Yeah, I'm using my laptop. Can I do?
Okay, Mr. Kudori, can you? Yeah.
I'm using phone, sir.
Yeah, please take a picture, a screenshot. Yeah.
But 4 by 4 is okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Once again.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Okay, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kudori, and everyone for attending our discussion. We'll meet again next week for the different discussion. Well, as I say, bye-bye, everyone. Nice to meet you. Bye-bye.
Hey, hello, Ota. Hello,
Yeah.
Ota.
Yesterday we said
Yesterday is tomorrow.
Bye-bye. Thank you,
See ya,
everyone.
guys. Until next time. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Wilda. See ya.
Everyone.